There we go. Big round, thank you. Carolyn Hyde, afternoon anchor at Bloomberg News, and Arne Sorenson, CEO of MARRIOTT International. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Welcome. I hope you've enjoyed our lunch breaks, had a little bit of caffeine, and it is a joy to be here with you, Arne. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
We are talking about new hospitality. Now, when I think new hospitality, maybe homestay comes to mind, Airbnb, online travel. How are you owning at MARRIOTT the new hospitality?
Well, first, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be in Paris. Thank you for being here. Caroline, it's great to be here with you. When I think of new hospitality, I think of lots of different things. Technology, of course, is a prominent piece of that. So that is, how do we compete with technology platforms, not just Airbnb, but online travel providers like Expedia and Booking, Google, for example, which obviously is very prominent in search, all of whom have a desire to be in the middle of our relationships with customers. Sometimes they're their own customers, sometimes they're coming after our customers. They don't want to necessarily take them from us, but they want to be in the middle of that relationship. And so new hospitality for me is partly about how do we use technology to relate to our customers, individually market to our customers, know them, deliver value to them. But it's also about the products and services we offer in our hotels.
You're making some interesting deals. And by the way, we take no offense if you're all gazing at your phones throughout this. We want you tweeting, we want you taking out the lessons that Arne is giving us at the moment and shouting it to the rest of the world who sadly can't be here. But give us a sense, Arne, of the deals you're striking with startups. Interestingly, you're doing a pilot in London with a company called Hostmaker. What's the vision?
So Hostmaker is in the business of providing services and revenue management to home sharing hosts, thus the word Hostmaker. And what they've said is we can deliver services that make it easier for a host. We'll take the work out away from you, but we'll also, in doing that, decorate your home, have standards for your home, provide services, deliver the key to your guest, make sure it's cleaned properly before and afterwards, revenue manage it so you're pricing that home right, and take the burden away, but also deliver a quality experience. We've of course watched this home sharing space develop over the last decade or so, longer if you look at the pre-internet era, and what we thought is we should be in the higher end of that business. Let's be in a place where our brands mean something, where customers want service and want quality. Let's connect it to our loyalty program. And so that's the pilot we're doing with Hostmaker in London. I'm convinced we'll grow this business significantly.
So basically, you've looked at Airbnb and you're going, we can do it, and we can do it differently, and perhaps better.
Well, I think we'll do it differently. Let me not necessarily make the value judgment about whether it's better or not. It's different. Airbnb, of course, has got a massive number of listings. Many of them are really attractive to travelers because of value. It's a cheap place to stay. Our business has never been in providing the cheapest place to stay. Our business has been about providing an authentic welcome, providing great service, providing brands that mean something. And if we can do those things in this space with a whole home product, we think it will be different. We think it will be something that our loyal customers want to experience. And it will simply not be the same business that Airbnb and some of the others are in.
Where will that expand to? Where are you seeing regional demand? You're trying it in London. Would the idea be to grow that geographically?
Yeah, obviously to grow it geographically. The other thing about the home sharing sites, at least to date, is they have been mostly about leisure travel, not about business travel. So think about the great leisure destinations in the world. Of course, most of the European cities are great leisure destinations. Mm-hmm. There are some resort markets that are established leisure destinations, but those would be the places that we would look first.
It feels like you've at first seen yourself disrupted, got a little irate by it, but then embraced it, and are you disrupting yourself from the inside, really?
You have to be willing to disrupt yourself. So the last time we were together, we were opening the Edition Hotel in London.
Yeah.
That was our partnership with Ian Schrager. It's a boutique luxury brand.
It's gorgeous.
And we started in partnership with Ian Schrager in 2007, right before the recession. The timing was awful, so we didn't really get off very well, but we rebooted that relationship in 2010 or 11. We had watched that space, and really it was Starwood NW, which of course now one of our brands, but it was not one of our brands in 2007. And for years we watched and said, is that a big enough space for us to need to participate in? And at first we weren't sure. We got to a point of saying, you know what, we need to be in that space. Let's jump in with the father of that business, who's Ian Schrager, and let's be prepared to disrupt some of our other brands with a boutique product that is quite different in sensibility and in many respects sort of competes with some of the other brands that we have.
And you're doing that perhaps from the lower point as well with a, is it Moxie?
Moxie.
Moxie.
Yeah. Moxie is a brand that started in Europe about 4 years ago. We opened first near Milan. We are essentially trying to reinvent the economy segment of the lodging space. For too many years, economy hotels basically communicated to their guests that they didn't pay much for their room, and therefore they shouldn't expect much. And we want to deliver something which delivers good value, but also delivers an experience which people say, I loved that stay at Moxie, and I'm going to Instagram it, I'm going to share it, I'm going to have fun with it. Very lively lobby, but something that could be both lifestyle and economy.
It's interesting the different tactics that those in the space are making. You're teaming up with HostMaker here. We've seen Accor, the French brand of hotels, buying One Fine Stay. You've seen other deals get done. Would you ever make acquisitions in that space, or is this about teamwork?
Well, we are certainly investing in this space, and we're investing a lot of our own dollars and system dollars in technology. So that place continues to move very, very aggressively. I think when it comes to something like HostMaker, or sometimes to branding, so Ian Schrager brought us permission to enter the boutique space. Marriott was not known for the kind of attributes that would have immediately caused customers to say, yeah, I want to go stay at that, absent our partnership with Ian Schrager. HostMaker delivers an expertise in home sharing that we don't have. We entered into a relationship with an experiences platform a year ago for the same reason, because they have a tool to really be focused on how do we book that unique cooking experience, or the city tour, or the zip line ride, or the mystery tour, the haunted tour of the city at night, whatever it might be. And we think that the partnerships can bring us something faster with deeper expertise than if we do it ourselves.
So this is the trend that you're having to ride the wave of, is we all want experiences now. We don't just want to travel, we don't want to pay great fortunes for our flights, but we want to pay great fortunes, or indeed smaller fortunes, on an experience.
This is the greatest thing about our industry today, is globally we all want more and more experiences, and we want less and less stuff. Why? Well, maybe partly it's because we already have a lot of stuff, could be. I think another reason, though, is that the things we like to brag about having are now experiences.
Yeah.
And that's because of social media. Think about what is shared on Instagram. It's dining and travel. And if you buy a fancy new car, it's hard to share on Instagram. Right? Yeah, you could take a picture of it, but that seems
it's a one-trick pony.
That seems boorish, right? Yeah. And it's only one picture. And so instead people say, I want to share with my friends that spectacular meal or that spectacular vacation we had, the experience we had. And of course, travel is experience.
What other trends are you seeing? Of course, you're in many geographies. How is China, for example, making you innovate, disrupt yourself?
Yeah. Well, it's a big world, and it's a highly diverse world. Business in China is fabulous. We have 300 hotels open and 300 some under development, under construction today. I think we're nearly 40 open hotels in Shanghai, and these are big, often very high-end hotels. And the operating performance numbers are great because we're seeing China quite deliberately say, we want to get to more of a consumer economy. We want to get to a place where Chinese citizens are experiencing high quality of life, and that's about travel within China and abroad. But there's a and again, you can't. Nobody's monolithic in their preferences, but I think China probably still prefers some of the traditional brands more than the cutting edge brands, because they're brands they've read about and understand. And so the Ritz-Carltons are gorgeous, beautiful hotels, and it's a super strong brand because it's been read about and desired for a long time.
You've teamed up with Alibaba. What's that all about?
Well, Alibaba is obviously a juggernaut in China.
Yeah.
They have nearly 500 million regular users. They wanted to have a travel, be connected to travel, and of course they've got a travel platform called Fliggy. But they really wanted to be able to deliver to their Chinese customers a Chinese experience when they traveled. That meant language, it meant breakfast food particularly, but food and beverage, maybe something around news. And so we worked with them to say, we'll deliver what Chinese travelers need when they travel abroad, and then let's enter into a partnership so that we can make your customers our customers and vice versa.
What about you as a leader? You sit here in a very nice suit and tie. Next time I want to see denim if you're going to be innovating and disrupting yourself. But how much of a challenge is it to lead a big business, but say I'm willing to potentially hurt myself for longer term gain? I'm willing to disrupt, to innovate. And how do you get the rest of your workers alongside you?
Yeah, by the way, you're not wearing jeans either.
I'm not. Next time we'll do it together.
And my team told me that this was a tech-forward conference and I shouldn't wear a tie and I should come casual. But we've got a full day of meetings, so it's not just living in tech world, but meeting with hotel owners and others in Paris.
The French are luxurious as well, it seems.
Yeah. But it is, running a company like Marriott is a joy. It's an absolute joy. We have about 700,000 people that wear our name badge every day. We're creating opportunities for people, creating careers for people. In some parts of the world, a job is a truly transformative thing, gives predictability to their lives and their ability to support a family, education, medical care, a house. And to be engaged in that and see our people around the world is absolutely fabulous. The innovation piece is really fun. It is not necessarily primarily about my ideas. It's really about unleashing this organization and saying, let's all of us be open to change. Let's encourage risk-taking. Let's use our 6,700 hotels, each of them as a test lab, so that they can discover things that are happening and come back and say, you know what, we should do something different. Or let's watch what's happening in the marketplace, in technology, or with competitors, or in the restaurant space, and say, what can we learn from them to do better? And move as quickly as we can to pursue change.
How do you move quickly when you're a big company?
You've got to just give permission to people to take risk. And if you give them permission and they know they will not be penalized for taking risks, they want to do it. It's not a hard thing to turn on.
And I'm thinking of the potential entrepreneurs in the audience, the startup owners, who look at your deal with Hostmaker and say, I've got something I can offer you. How does a startup entrepreneur penetrate a business like yours? How do you access them? How do you find them? And how can they access you?
Some days it seems like most of them send me emails directly, which is arne.sorenson@marriott.com. So if you got a good idea, send it along. But there are, we do a number of things. We had essentially an innovation competition last year where we had 25 tech startups working with our teams to say, what can we invent? What are the ideas that you are already pursuing or would like to pursue? And we did a competition. I participated in seeing the last 5 presentations. Hostmaker was one of those and came in as part of that process. And we said, that's a brilliant idea with a great leadership team. Let's jump on it and see if we could build something from it. And actually a number of those other 5 we're doing similar things with. They're in very different spaces than Hostmaker is. But there too, it's a matter of just keeping your ears open. What's happening externally? What's happening in tech startup land? What's happening in technology generally that we need to be mindful of and tap into?
So we've got about 30 seconds left, Arne. Where will we see Marriott next year? How will it have changed? What should we look out for?
Well, we continue to grow. We grow as our customers want more and more experiences. So we're opening a hotel about every 13 hours, 13 or 14 hours around the world. And that growth is going to continue. It's very, very predictable. But I think our future, whether it's next year or the next decade, will be to take this loyalty program, which is 110 million members. Marriott Rewards and SPG will be finally merged on August 1st, roughly, this year. Build that loyalty program so that we've got relationships with traveling customers in large numbers so that they will come to us for things related to travel. Obviously to book hotel reservations, but to plan travel, to dream about travel, to share travel, to think about other travel-related experiences and bookings, and say, I want to be part of that community. That's what the future is.
And Airbnb should be worried?
I hope so.
We'll leave it at that. Arne, you've been great. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
all
you.
your views with the
Thank you,
audience.
everybody.
Thank you very much indeed to all of you.